Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this lovely evening here. It's summertime here in India. It's pretty hot here in Punjab. Let me tell you, I don't know where you are. Hopefully the weather's not too bad. I want to welcome you today to this live session with me, Martin Victor, with my IELTS Tutor, the premium online IELTS training platform. And we have a number of people. We have Gautam. Hello, Gautam. Nice to see you. We have, Babu Sharma. Good evening. Nice to see you both. Those of you who've joined, do say hello. It's nice to hear from you guys. It's great to have you on. And I really enjoy being here with you every Wednesday, 5 o'clock Indian Standard Time, where I talk about the ins and outs of different aspects of IELTS. My previous live sessions, I've talked about IELTS speaking, and I really encourage you guys to watch those, and you will learn a lot from them. So, but today is going to be different because I'm going to talk about IELTS writing. Hello there, Amazon Pro. Hello, Swati. Hello, Swati. Nice to see you here. Sorry if I have to bend down. I'm looking at my phone as you guys are chatting, and so it's a little bit difficult for me to see it clearly, but especially your names. Hello, Tenzin. So it's a little bit difficult for me to see your names on chat because the font's so small. But I can otherwise what you type and and such, I can see. So it's great to see you guys here. Oh, we have a lot of people. We have 16 people now. Hello, welcome, welcome everyone. So, okay, so let's get started. Now, again, every Wednesday at 5 o'clock, I provide free live IELTS tips and strategies for you in different aspects of IELTS. My previous videos have been, sessions have been about speaking, but today I'm going to talk about the writing. And there's lots of stuff about writing, but today I want to talk about understanding the essay prompt. And this is important. It's really important to understand the essay prompt. Hello, Nitesh. Hello, Varesh. Hello, Komal. Hello, Dipanshu. Welcome. So again, it's really important to understand the essay prompt. So I want you guys to think about why it is, okay? It's really important. Why is it important to understand the essay prompt? But first, before we answer that question, what is an essay prompt? Well, it's the writing that you receive. It's the writing you receive that explains what you are about to write about and how to write about it. So for example, and this is what I have here is the essay prompt. Some people think that criminal behavior has genetic causes. Others believe that is circumstances that lead to people to commit a crime. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So what is there to understand about that? What do we need to pull out of all of that to understand it better? What is it? Because there's several things that we need to consider about the essay prompt, okay? So are we ready? Oh, I think we're ready. Let's go. So now, essay prompt parts. There's 3 parts to the essay prompt, okay? We have the topic, we have viewpoints, and instructions. It's really important to understand that the essay prompt has those 3 components. So if we take our example here, government investment in the arts such as music and theater is a waste of money. Governments must invest this money in public services instead. To what extent do you agree with this statement? So there are 3 things we need to pull out of here. The topic. So what's the topic of this? What are the viewpoints? What is the viewpoint or viewpoint? Because you could have more than one viewpoint, either one or two viewpoints. And then what are the instructions? So those are the things that we want to pull out of the essay prompt, because it's important to understand those things. And why? Why is it important? Well, first of all, it's important to understand it because, first of all, the topic must be precise. So what is written must be relevant to the topic. That's important. What I mean by relevant, it must be related, but directly apply to the topic. It must be directly applicable to the topic. It could be, let's say, for instance, we're talking about road safety. One of the aspects of road safety could be, say, driver alertness. That's important. But maybe you talk only about driver alertness. That's just one aspect. You need to focus on the main topic. So the topic must be precise, and what you write must be directly applicable, directly related, and relevant to the topic. Then you have to get the viewpoints, because there will be one or two viewpoints that will be expressed, and those must be accurately presented and discussed, okay? And then, of course, the instructions must be followed. The instructions basically tell you how to write the essay, and that's important. And if you don't if you don't get these three correct, if you're not correct on the topic, if you don't have the viewpoint correct, if you don't follow the instructions, you're really not likely to score 6 or above, band 6 or above. Your band score would more likely be 5 or less. Okay, so it's really important to get these correct so you can score at least band 6, and hopefully the rest will be much better. And we'll talk about essay writing in the future too. But you need to get these 3 to be able to score band 6 and above. It's really important. Now, let's talk about the various components of the essay prompt. First of all, what is the topic? Well, first of all, we have to understand where the topic comes from. And generally, it comes from the first sentence. Generally, so if we look at our example here, government investment in the arts, such as music and theater, is a waste of money. That's pretty much the topic. Now, it may not be clear. The topic may not be clear. I mean, that sentence itself is not the topic itself, but the topic is the topic is there. So we have to pull it out. And so what we can do is ask to determine exactly what the topic is to use a focus question. And a focus question is basically a question that helps you narrow down the topic. So basically, what is being discussed here? If you really look at it, if we look at the sentence, what is being discussed? What's being discussed is government funding of the arts. Government funding of the arts. We can boil it down to that, okay? So remember, if you're not sure what the topic is, use a focus question. It will narrow it down to the topic, okay? And you'll be able to understand the topic much better, okay? So that's what you want to do for the topic. Now, the next part are viewpoints. Now, how do you determine the viewpoints? Well, where can you find the viewpoint? That's generally the second sentence. In this one, we have the viewpoint. Governments must invest this money in public services instead. That's the viewpoint. Now, how many viewpoints are this? There's one. You might think that government investment in the arts is a waste of money. You might think that's a viewpoint, but that really isn't. That really supports the main viewpoint, which is governments must invest this money in public services instead, the second sentence. So, so here it's one viewpoint. Okay, someone asked a quick question. This is Mahima. Can we write points within the essay? Yes, you do need supporting points in the essay, and I actually will do a live session on that. But yes, you do want to have supporting points in the essay. Now, at the end, I forgot to mention, I will have a quick question and answer session at the end, about 5 minutes. So write down your questions and I'll get to those when we've actually finished. But let's get back to this. So as I said, there's one viewpoint for this particular example. And next later we'll see where we can see two viewpoints. Now, what is the viewpoint here? We can and again, if you have trouble understanding the viewpoint, you can use a focus question. So here, funding of public services is more important than for arts. So here the focus question is, what's more important? Government must invest this money is more important than for the arts. So that's the viewpoint here. Now, instructions. Good evening, Prema. I think I pronounced your name correctly. So the instructions. Now, understanding instructions. Now, where do we find the instructions? Those are the last sentences, and they could be questions too. For instance, in our example, to what extent do we agree with this statement? Okay. So usually it comes as a question, but it may not come as a question, but it's usually the last sentence or sentences. So with this instruction, what are we asked to do? That's the question here. So here it's very simple. Explain how you agree or disagree with the viewpoint. So essentially, you're going to be, it's basically, do you agree or disagree with the viewpoint, and explain why? So now let's look at some examples. So I have about 3 examples here of the different types of question prompts that you're likely to find. And so we'll examine these really close. So for example here, how many would argue that scientific research requires a degree of oversight from the relevant governmental authorities? Okay, some believe that if properly handled, this is a sensible and necessary policy. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So what is the topic? What's the topic? Basically, it boils down to government supervision of scientific research. So it boils down to government supervision of scientific research. Now, how many viewpoints are there? Now, of course, I have it written down, but there's one. So research should require government supervision. And we get that from the second sentence. So where it says, some believe this is a sensible and necessary policy. Actually, so that's the primary one. However, there's actually 2 viewpoints. I take that back. There's actually 2 viewpoints. You may have caught my, hello, Nana, nice to see you. You may have caught my error here, but there's actually 2 viewpoints. The first one is actually in the first sentence. Many would argue. So here's an example of where you would have 2 viewpoints. And please forgive me for my error here, but you have 2 viewpoints. So now the instructions, what are the instructions? Basically, you need to discuss the advantages and the disadvantages and to give your opinion. Now, your opinion is based on whether the advantages outweigh the disadvantages or disadvantages outweigh the disadvantages. So that's your instructions. That's your opinion there, and you need to discuss that. Okay. So we have a question. Okay. So, all right. So now let's move on to the next example. All right. So now this one, some people believe that the experiences children have before they go to school will have their greatest effect on their future life. Others argue that experiences gained when they are teenagers have a bigger influence. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So the topic is, of course, even though I put it into the question, the topic is which experiences are more influential, early childhood or teenage experience. So that's essentially the topic. And that's the question that's the question you need to answer as well. Now, here we have how many viewpoints are there? And what are they? Well, we have two. First is that childhood experience is more influential. The second, of course, is teenage experience is more influential. And the instructions say discuss both viewpoints. So in this, we would probably have one paragraph for the first viewpoints, another paragraph for the second paragraph for the second viewpoint, and then we want to discuss your opinion. You want to discuss your opinion. So in this one, you would have a third paragraph, and that's how you can. That's how you would write that. Okay, that's how you would write this. Now let's move on to the next, our final example. Okay, so here, many people feel that media coverage has become increasingly biased today. Why is this? What can be done to fix the problem? So this is important. You know, this is another type of essay prompt that you are likely to get from IELTS. And we here at My IELTS Tutor will help you. Our staff are trained to help our students in writing. But going back to this, you know, what is the topic? Basically, the topic is the bias held by current media outlets in covering news. So we get that from media coverage, news, and then, you know, the bias held by current media outlets. So, so how many viewpoints are there? There's basically one. Media coverage of events is becoming more biased. And then what are the instructions? Well, first of all, we need to discuss the reasons for this. This is based on the question, why is this? And then we want to discuss the solutions. What can be done to fix this problem? And so what you would want to do is have one paragraph at least to discuss the reasons. And then you want to have another paragraph or two to discuss the solutions for this. And then of course you would have your introduction and your conclusion, and then you have your essay. But you know, it's really important to understand what the essay prompts are and how to interpret them. And that's what this session is about, how to interpret the essay prompt. And when you do that, you understand how to write the essay. You understand the essay, what you were asked to do much better, and you understand the topic better as well. And so understand those and writing in those and taking those into consideration in your writing, you're going to score 6 and above, band 6 and above. And so that's what you want to do. And that's why it's important. So now to review, you know, the essay prompts explain what the topic you will write about, how to write your essay. That's important. Now, the importance is to determine the topic, viewpoints, and instructions. And how to determine the topic? That's usually from the first sentence, or if it's not clear, ask a focus question. And to determine the viewpoints, it's from the second sentence, or again, ask focus questions. And look for language, such as some people argue, some view, some believe. That's one way you can determine those are your clues to help you determine a viewpoint. And then understanding the instructions. Remember, those are the last sentence or sentences, or the questions that come at the end. Okay, so that's it for today. I really want to thank you for joining me. It's great to have you. For those of you who have questions, I'll address those right now. So we have Como asks, do we have to specifically put points why we agree? Yes. Or can we put points for both the statements as well? Let me take that first question. You have to give supporting points in respect to whether or not you agree or disagree with a viewpoint. Okay, you need supporting points. And so that's what you need to write about. And now your second question, can we put points for both the statements as well? I'm not sure I quite understand that. If you have two viewpoints that are being discussed, it depends on the instructions, really. It really depends on your instructions. If you remember where it said, if you're given two viewpoints and you're asked to discuss both views, yes, you need to discuss both views. So in one paragraph, you have to discuss one view and give some reasons for that view. Give 2 to 3 reasons for that view. And then in the second paragraph, you need to discuss the second view. And again, give some reasons for that view, okay? And then in your third paragraph, you want to talk about your opinion. And so that can be where, this is where you give your reasons for your view. And you can compare and contrast the two different views, okay? So hopefully that helps. I'm glad you joined our premium classes, Gautam. Thank you. Nana wrote to Como and says, in case of you completely agree in both paragraphs, you will have to give reasons why you agree. If you partially agree, you will make one paragraph of agreement and one for disagreement. Yeah, that makes sense, okay? Or, you know, if you disagree, you would have to give reasons for why you disagree, for reasons, or if you agree, you need to give reasons why you agree. If you partially agree, you should devote one paragraph of why you agree, paragraph of why you disagree with reasons for both, and then you should have a third paragraph to discuss the extent of which side do you lean towards more? Do you lean more towards agreement, or do you lean more towards disagreement? So you need that third paragraph there. And that's important because you should have a very clear opinion about the topic. And the examiners are going to look for a clear opinion on your part, okay? Mahima, you asked, can you number your points? If you're talking about listing them in number form on the page, number 1, the reason, number 2, the reason, or bullet points, no, you need to write paragraphs. You could use first, second, third, like that, but I really don't recommend that because that becomes repetitive. And you can start off by first and then maybe use other connectors after that. But because then it becomes it becomes too repetitive, it also shows a limited vocabulary and limited coherence. It will affect your coherence, which is a scoring criteria. So I really recommend, so that would be a good one. So I would really, first of all, don't bullet point your points. Don't use bullet points. Don't use numbers in terms of your points. Write out paragraphs and use connectors, signal words and phrases. And I did do a live session on signal words and phrases about 2 months ago. It's here on YouTube. I did it for speaking, but it applies equally to writing. That one applies directly to writing. And I really recommend that you watch that video. Watch that live session. In fact, I recommend that you watch all my live sessions. So I hope that answers your questions, Mahima. So, okay, so looks like there's no more questions. Hopefully I've answered quite a few of them. So that's it on the presentation. Now I want to talk about my IELTS Tutor. Now, my IELTS Tutor is the IELTS Live Premium Online Institute. Much better than a brick and mortar service center, institute, I should say, where you sit in an actual physical classroom and you are sitting with 20 to 30 students and you're not getting the attention that you really need. Here at My IELTS Tutor, we offer you individual training and small group training with 3 to 4 students per session. And so you get the attention you need. And that's important. And these are the things that we offer for our students who enroll in our live premium training. You get detailed analysis and feedbacks, reading discussions, one-to-one speaking with a tutor, such as myself. You get ebooks, PDFs, grammar ebooks, a Band 9 essay bank, proven tips and strategies live sessions, and this session is one of those. My weekly live sessions are those. I believe our other trainer, 𝐂𝐎𝐿TS, has a weekly session on Friday. We have vocabulary building tools, free access to daily idea generation, live classes. This is primarily for speaking and writing. Detailed one-to-one feedback and analysis for speaking, live listening sessions, understanding marking criteria, mock tests. Every Saturday we have mock tests. You're welcome, 𝐂𝐿𝐿. And you're welcome, Mahima. And let me get to this. So, and we have these others, but the more important thing is we offer a customized study plan for you, where we look at your strengths and your weaknesses, and we focus on building up your weaknesses and enhancing your strengths, so that where you may be performing at, say, 5.5, we work on building up your weaknesses to where you can be scoring 6.5, 7, 7.5, even 8 or higher. So we offer you a customized study plan. And so that's the unique thing about My IELTS Tutor, as well as the small group and individual training that we offer. So now, these are the tutors with My IELTS Tutor. The primary tutors, myself, 𝐂𝐿TS, Ms. Amita, and together we have over 30 years of experience, And we have literally helped thousands of students achieve their goals. So we have been doing this for a long time, and we have the knowledge, we have the skill sets, and we're committed to helping you achieve your goals. And here are some of our most recent scores, results for our from some of our students. So, and a lot of these are 7.5, 8, 8.5. And what we do is we do have a minimum goal of 8 bands for all of our students. And this is what we strive for. And we do everything that we can to help you achieve your goals. Everything that we can to help you achieve your goals. And so we go the distance for you. We're committed to that. And because of that commitment, your bands are our responsibility. That's right. Your bands are our responsibilities. So that's it for this session. I really want to thank you guys for joining. It's a pleasure having you. It's nice to see so many folks. Do join me next Wednesday at 5 o'clock Indian Standard Time, where I will be talking about either IELTS speaking or writing, probably IELTS writing. But stay tuned. Follow us on YouTube here. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And I'll see you guys soon. You guys take care. Bye for now.